So we're either getting good footage for you guys or we're getting good footage for the insurance company. I don't know which yet. We'll find out. All right, man, it's a hot day today, but we're going to do it. Got my son-in-law Logan here from LB Outdoors. Check out his hat. Check out his channel. And he's come over, graciously agreed to help me. And partly, I guess, a little bit selfishly, because you guys are going to get to benefit from this as well.
Yeah.
But we're going to get to removing this upper deck finally. Last time we unbolted all of the fencing, all of the trim, all of that, and now it's time to remove this upper deck, which has some, looks like vinyl glued down to it, huh?
Yeah.
And it's stapled around the edges too, right?
Stapled around the edges. It looks like it's got some glue all over it,
yeah,
along with some screws holding the plywood down. So
yeah. But it looks like the vinyl is peeling back pretty easy, which is a good thing. Hopefully it won't tear up the wood too much. And like I said, we're going to try and refurbish as much as we can on this boat. But if we can't salvage the wood because too many layers rip off or whatever, you know, again, we want it to be nice when we're done. So we're going to try our best to salvage everything we can. And I want to take you along for the ride. Now, you may be asking, like, why the heck are these idiots out there in the middle of the hot day or whatever? But Logan had a great point. And what was it you were talking about with the glue there?
Yeah, so since we're doing it on such a hot day, you can let this thing sit out in the sun and get hot, and it kind of loosens some of that adhesive up a little bit. And hopefully, I mean, you can see so far this corner that we've got peeling up, the wood is still in really good shape. It's not really pulling any of the wood up. I mean, just a couple tiny spots there, but the fact that we've let it sit out in the sun and bake and get warm all day, hopefully that's going to loosen up a lot of the adhesive. So yeah, fingers crossed that makes this job a lot easier for us.
Well, I think it does seem to be peeling back pretty easy. So I think what we'll do is we'll climb up here and we'll just see how much of it we can peel back, you know, from up top. Yeah. And then I'll show you how this thing is held down to the framing around the edges, because the guys over at Playcraft, they did a really neat job of securing this thing down to the framing.
Okay, guys, we're gonna work on getting this corner peeled back a little bit. As you can see, it's a little
harder.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough over here whenever you're, you know, trying to peel back such a large area. So let's see what these pliers do here.
Oh,
okay.
Just taking a little piece.
Just rips.
Yeah, that's not gonna work too well.
Just rips. Okay, so it's probably too old, too dry. But let's see. Another thing that we can possibly do is cut it into strips. Yeah. And peel back, you know, 6-inch or 12-inch wide strips if we find out that this footprint or this width is too hard to pull, which it's kind of looking that way. I mean, I'm 270 pounds and it's...
Oh, look, it's fixing to rip a piece off too. Yeah. That's not going to be good, because then that piece is not going to come off. Yeah. But yeah, so I've seen where people will take it and cut it into strips. They'll say, okay, well, the rafter or the joist is right here, and so let's cut into strips either on either side of that joist so that you can expose the screws. You can see how the screws are around the edge. There's going to be some going down through the middle here as the joists run this orientation. So we may do that. I think that actually would be a good idea, to slice it so that we can get pieces without it ripping off into little chunks like that, because that's going to be real hard to get off. Now, as we were starting to peel this back, we are noticing that it almost looks like there's a seam here, but that's just in the top layer. That's not two pieces. It's just in the top layer of the plywood. But it did kind of show up. I don't know if it's going to come through in the camera, but it did show up as sort of a ridge in this plywood all the way across, and that's kind of close to where the first joist is that we need to expose to get to the heads of all the screws. So Logan's going to cut some of this down here, and then we're going to see if that doesn't make it a little easier to peel back. We may need to do narrower strips than this just to make it easier to peel. Oh yeah, it's going to come apart in little pieces, isn't it?
It's gonna try.
Here,
Let's try from that end.
Cut that thing another strip like right here, and we'll do, I don't know, 12-inch strips and try to rip them from one side to the other. Hopefully you guys appreciate us doing this sort of trial and error here for you. If you're in the process of restoring a pontoon or Playcraft especially, you'll get to see, you know, what we find that does work and what we find that doesn't work. How are your hands in doing this? Do we need gloves necessarily?
Right now, it's fine. The biggest thing was getting the edges up. Some of the staples were coming up, and I was like this right here.
Yeah.
You may
got to be careful.
Zoom in on that, but
be careful not to get stabbed.
Those staples like that are sticking through. I did notice earlier I tried to grab some of those, so just be mindful of that. But once you're past the staples, like grabbing over here, it's actually a really good grip on this stuff, so cool. Not bad at all.
Hey, there we go. First piece up and throw it over on the, I guess on the, it's gonna be our discard pile over here for now. I wonder if we start on the other end, if this stuff will come up as we get to it.
Let's see.
It seems to be pulling off the edge really easily, even with those staples in place.
I think one key thing too is going to be just kind of slow, steady pressure, not just ripping this stuff up as fast as you can.
Start to see the exposed screws on that joist. So yeah.
And also that weird seam in the top of the plywood there.
Yeah.
It does go all the way across.
There's another seam here. So these are probably just in the plywood making process. I know Playcraft uses ginormous sheets of plywood so that they can have one piece for the upper deck and one piece for the lower deck, even in most cases. And so that's not 2 sheets of plywood, or else you would see that it was secured on either side of that line if it were 2 sheets. But that's just,
okay,
like
so
I said, that's just the first layer of this plywood.
We got out pretty good here. Just got one little sheet left.
We may have to just sort of put, you know, peel this thing off separately. Yeah, no problem. No problem. But if it didn't come up, I guess we could do either a putty knife, or what else could we use to get the little pieces off?
Yeah, either a putty knife or just something that you could pick the edge off and maybe peel it up with some pliers or something, kind of like what we were doing earlier. I think that would work fine on a small piece. But yeah,
right,
I think
let's continue since this seems to work. I'll set this down and help you out. We'll get this stuff up.
Awesome.
Go close. Yeah, hopefully this will show up. You guys will get a much better view as we move further back. And sorry if the camera's shaking all over the place. This tripod's kind of hard to keep steady with us up here fiddling around.
Ooh,
Taking up a piece of the wood.
It's wanting to peel it from this side, see what it does.
Started ripping off some of the wood there, and I kind of expected that to some degree, especially these little spots like that where the manufacturer of the plywood had to put in these little football shaped things for knot holes or whatever. They're not typically adhered to the plywood as well as the sheet of plywood is. We're going to try this little putty knife technique around the edge, kind of lift up the adhesive just around the edge. That way we can get our hands underneath it, kind of peel it up a little bit better.
You know, this was
bad around these knot holes.
And this was also where the pool was, or the slide was, right here.
Right.
So I wonder if there's something to do with the high foot traffic area pushing this adhesive into the wood for all these years.
Could be that just the bolting down of the frame of the slide, you know, helped with additional adhesion as well. But I think it's just going to be par for the course, so to speak. We're going to have strips that just don't want to come up super easy. I've never seen a pontoon restoration video where the flooring did just come up nice and easy, so no surprise there. Yeah, that took up a couple of a layer of the plywood right through here. It's pretty gashed in. Since we're going back with a vinyl over the top of the plywood, if we can reuse the plywood, I want that flooring, that base here, the subfloor, to be in good shape. Now, if it's just one little spot like this, you could probably fill this in with some wood putty and kind of polish it off and sand it off and make it flat. And the vinyl nowadays that goes on top of the floor has a little bit of cushion, and so it'll be a little bit more forgiving for imperfections in the underlying substrate, but you still want it right. It's all right. There's nothing really we can do about it. I mean, it either sticks good, or it sticks to the plywood, or it releases. And in this case, now we've got a chunk, you know, a couple feet long here of top layer of plywood missing, and it's real ragged where and it looks a little soft right there.
If somebody,
no, that's not too bad.
If somebody wanted to, say they only had 1 or 2 of those spots on their boat and they didn't want to invest the money in replacing the whole flooring, what's something that they could do to repair that spot and potentially save, you know, a couple $100 on new flooring?
Well, like I said before, you can fill in these things with some wood putty and then sand it flat if it wasn't too big of an area. If it's too big of an area, yeah, Playcraft did a great job of using one piece for structural rigidity and all that, but you could cut a strip out and replace it with a piece of plywood and just secure it down to the joist underneath. And we may end up doing something like that if we end up finding too much to repair. But yeah, this is, you know, Playcraft does a good job. This stuff wasn't peeling up, and it's, you know, we're trying to make it peel up, and it's hard to peel up. So the glue is not the problem. The wood itself is not really a problem. It's just that this process of peeling something that stuck to it really well can become a problem. All right, so by the magic of television, and also the GoPro overheated, so we had to take it and put it inside to cool off. We got some help from Baylor here. You guys remember him from A Primal Life. I'll put a link to his channel. Check out his outdoorsy stuff. But we got all of that plywood, or all of that vinyl peeled up, and as you can see, it took some wood, or at least the first layer in a lot of places, and especially these knot holes like that. It took the wood with it. And so I don't know if we're going to be able to salvage this. I'm especially interested to see when I remove the carpet from the bottom how bad it is. But now we have access to all of the screws that hold it down, and they are all number 3. Don't use the wrong size. Number 3 Phillips stainless steel. And also notice how this is recessed. Playcraft did a great job of countersinking every one of these screws into the deck. That way you don't see their heads or feel their heads underneath the vinyl. So we're going to go around here and pull all of these things. They're all pre-drilled. They're all countersunk at the factory. We're going to pull all of them off, and then we're going to see just how heavy this piece of plywood, which is 8.5 feet wide by 12 feet long, this upper deck is. We're going to see just how heavy this 3/4 inch piece of plywood is when we try to get it down from here. All right, and as I said, it's a good idea to retain all of your stainless hardware, especially because this stuff's expensive and you want to reuse what you can. So we're gonna get to removing screws here. See, I noticed around the edge here that they not only countersunk, but pre-drilled the holes through the aluminum. Let me try to show that here as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me show it on one of these where we're not in the sun, like in the front here. But you can see here that the screws are not only countersunk, but they pre-drilled holes through the aluminum. These are not self-tapping screws, so they didn't drill their own holes as you came through. So again, that just shows the level of quality and planning that Playcraft does in creating their custom boats. Go ahead and pull these suckers out.
I get too fast.
It's fine.
The amount of glazing.
All right, so again, by the magic of television, we've got all of the screws, at least those that we see, taken out and in the cup here. There was some that were like underneath a little bit of, I don't know, glue or something like that they put down. And it looks like here, especially, I think this is the glue that they put underneath the seam for the two pieces of vinyl that they had, because there's not a seam here in the plywood. But that glue kind of got on top of some of the screws, made them a little bit more difficult to get out. But we're going to go downstairs now and see if we can't lift it up off of the framing, and that'll tell us if there's still some screws hidden somewhere. All right, guys, we have it unscrewed. Push up on it and see if it's actually, oh yeah. How heavy is it, Logan? How many pounds would you say this thing weighs?
Probably more than what you would want to handle on your own. So easily 100 pounds, 150 pounds at least.
Right. So what are our options as far as getting this thing safely off the boat without tearing it up any more than we have to or hurting ourselves?
Well, it's pretty tall, so I don't know that we're going to have somebody able to stand on the ground and catch it without hurting themselves. So we could either toss it over the edge and hope that it stays okay, or we could possibly attach some rope or something to kind of control it on its descent. But there's more than one way to skin a cat, so we're just going to try to figure out which is the best way.
Right.
So,
what about maybe scooching it all the way over there as close to the edge as we can, and then seeing if we can lower it down somehow?
Two people lower it, one person sacrifice.
One tall person, Logan, sacrificing himself down there to catch it.
put myself in harm's way.
Yeah, let me set this camera up so that the insurance company will have proof of what we did foolishly.
I don't know that you guys are going to be able to stop it. Hold that. I mean, look how far I've got to go.
Right.
I think you guys are going to be able to hold it.
I'm wondering if we monkey up here.
Yeah, we can monkey up all there. We can climb up there as much as we want. But you're right. I don't want us to be unable to control it and it fall and you feel like you got to catch it somehow.
Yeah. What if we, like what we were talking about earlier, use some ratchet straps or some rope, and we could run it around that other side. We could still have that idea of pushing it off this way, but the rope would at least be a way that we could keep a hold of it.
Yeah.
So that way it wouldn't just free fall off. We could kind of ease it off.
We still have some way to tie the rope to it.
Yeah, we could throw a couple screws in the top of it, possibly. Yeah, we could put, something right here and something on the other side, run the rope around here up to there, and then we could each kind of hold on to the rope as it's going that way, maybe.
Yeah.
It would just give us something to hold on to.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's think of something like that. That's a good plan. All right. Let's see. All right, so here's the plan. We're going to take this here ratchet strap. Well, not ratchet straps. Technically, it's a tow strap. I'm going to attach it to this board. We're somewhere in the middle of the upper deck here, and I'm just going to screw it through a meaty part of the strap here to the wood. a few times if I can. With a washer on them. There's a few more over there. Will you hand me those that have got the washers on them? Thank you. All right. And this will hold the weight as we lower it over the side there. And then a couple of us will be on the ground. We can catch it. Not that we're going to let it drop, but I think 4 screws ought to be plenty. I think this is a 20,000 pound or something tow strap. Yeah, that ain't going nowhere. You got to do that. You know, it's like the red strap. You got to flick it. No, that ain't going nowhere. But this definitely ain't going nowhere. All right. I'll put the 4th one in just because I have it in my hand, but you definitely don't need all 4. All right, so here's the plan. We're going to shift the weight of this thing over. Logan's got the strap here. Hopefully he's going to hold on to it. And once we get over to the side, then Baylor and I are going to come down on the ground, grab hold of it, and lower it the rest of the way. At least that's the plan as of now. Let's see how this goes. I'm ready. You guys ready? Let's do it. You can stand over in this back corner over here. Just don't step in the middle of that soft cover. There you go. At some point it'll start teetering. Your hand's starting to teeter a little bit, it looks like.
Here we go,
almost there.
Okay.
How big a boy are you?
It's Roy D.
All right,
Yeah,
here we go.
I'm good.
All right, let it keep letting some out, Logan.
I am.
All right, keep going. You're fine. All right. Cool. All right. Let's let it down a little bit more. Baylor, push your ends down.
It's
Okay.
gonna try to slam.
We're gonna get down there and put our arms on it now and lower it down. You got it, Logan?
I got it.
All
It's
right, let's
it's
go
not
down
taking
there.
hardly any pressure at all.
Cool. So we're either getting good footage for you guys or we're getting good footage for the insurance company. I don't know which yet. We'll find out. All right. All right.
You ready?
We got our hands on it.
You're gonna
Go
kind
ahead
of.
and give us a little bit. This is working okay, huh? All right. Keep it
All right,
coming,
you guys good, or you want me to go down there and help?
I'm good.
Okay, you're free up here.
All right. Well, don't let go yet. All right. We're going to set her down on the ground. Keep your hands out from under it, obviously. All right. It's on the ground on my end.
Not yet on mine.
Come check this out. Good job, fellas. Look at there. We got her on the ground safely. None of us got injured yet. I say yet because technically we need to rotate it over. I want to see how heavy you think this is, guys. Oh, don't do that yet. Let's just try to lift it. So,
Oh,
that's not too bad, huh?
I think 200 pounds.
A couple 100 pounds, yeah. So for you guys that are wondering, the upper deck on a pontoon, Playcraft, 8.5 feet wide, 12 feet long, a couple 100 pounds of this 3/4 inch marine grade plywood. Let's go ahead and flop it over here.
I'm gonna take the
Hold on a
screws.
second. Let's let that strap, yeah, let's take the strap off. I don't want the other end of the strap to get hung up on something because it's got a hook on the other end. But this worked well as far as controlling it coming down. I like that. Good idea, Logan.
I think the more interesting part of the story is going to be putting it back up.
True. All right, you clear? Let's go ahead and let it drop. 1, 2, 3, go. There it goes. Nice. Woohoo! Well, now that we've got the underside exposed, we were able to pull back a little bit of the carpet here to see how did the plywood hold up. Is it wet?
The carpet feels wet.
Right, but it didn't really rot out the wood underneath it. It's just that the wood is, the first layer is kind of peeling up some. So just like on the upper deck, I think we're going to find that this first layer, at least on the lower half of this sheet, is going to be damaged. And part of that is because that carpet soaks up so much water and just holds it against this treated plywood for decades. But I'm surprised it's coming up halfway easy, huh?
Well, it's got a little bit more structure than the vinyl did, so the carpet's not gonna rip apart quite as easily as the vinyl. But yeah, I mean, it's still taking some oomph, and right there it's leaving a lot of the
fuzz.
Well, some of the fuzz, but a lot of that old adhesive.
Yeah. My plan was, or at least I was hoping, that I would be able to recover the underside here where this carpet was with vinyl also. But for vinyl to go down, this substrate has to be clean. And trying to get all that glue off, get it flat again, may be more hassle than it was worth. You had a good idea, Logan, maybe trying to go back with like an aluminum floor maybe, or even some other type of plywood. Or
yeah, I mean, I don't know what it would cost. Obviously, that's part of the equation, but if it wasn't too outrageously more expensive to go back with, like, say, a 1/4-inch sheet of aluminum or something up there, it would never rot. It would probably be lighter weight, and the less weight up on top and high like that, the more stable the boat's going to be. So if it could be lighter, potentially stronger, last longer, you know, it would be better, I think. But if it's quadruple the price,
yeah,
you just got to weigh the pros and cons.
Right. And, you know, I'd like to honor the manufacturer's, you know, way of doing things to an extent. But, you know, we're refurbishing this boat. And so we do have some leeway to do things how we see fit too. So these guys are able to carry it by themselves. Some beasts right there. We're going to put it in the backyard, and I'll be able to work on it back there.
Stand up.
All right, well, there it is. Big old mess, but she's down. Woo! Man, I appreciate these guys coming to help me, because obviously this is not something you can do by yourself. Be smart about this, guys. Be safe. You don't want to hurt yourself. Of course, I've got it now to the point where I think I can take down the framing. It probably doesn't weigh very much. It's nice, thick aluminum, but it's not, you know, as bulky and difficult to deal with. And so almost done with the upper deck, and then we're on to the lower deck. And I'm not going to call it demo, because we're not just tearing it up. We're going to try and reuse as much as we can. So I'm going to call it deconstruction. So this is decon day number 1. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys, especially if you're in the process of restoring one of these pontoons, especially if it's a Playcraft. And as you can see, they do a great job with the stuff. The plywood itself was in good shape. That marine grade plywood, it lasts a long time. It lasts obviously through even the neglect that this one has seen, this boat has seen. But when you take that vinyl off, or when you take that carpet off, it's going to leave a mess. It's going to take off at least one layer of that plywood. So for me, I'm probably going to replace this wood, but you could probably get away with, you know, patching those holes in that plywood with some wood filler, or putting, you know, maybe a layer of aluminum or whatever over the top of it. Or if you thought you get some thick carpet, maybe you'll never notice it. I don't know, but you're seeing it real time. This is real life, and hopefully this helps you guys. Thank you guys for your attention today. Really appreciate it. Hope y'all have a wonderful week. God bless you and all you do.